It's an honor, a privilege, really, to be with you all on this day. I say a privilege because, quite frankly, as a self-professed nerdy little white kid from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, I could never imagine being at a TED Talk celebrating 50 years of hip-hop culture. As a kid, I did whatever I could to absorb hip-hop where I could find it, whether it was tuning into radio waves from Philadelphia, spending a dumb amount of time watching Yo MTV Raps after school as a teenager, or majoring in partying as a college student, as I DJ'd most of my freshman year rather than going to class. I never really thought that hip-hop could make it this far, as Biggie Smalls said, "Baby, baby." So here I am representing Northampton Community College and my alma mater, Lehigh University, where from Lehigh I graduated with a master's degree in sociology, studying the socioeconomic origins of hip-hop culture and how it emerged from the Bronx in the 1970s. And in my experience, whether it be reading text, listening to lyrics, looking at hip-hop imagery, in conversation, or if I profess honestly, maybe for myself, I hear time and time again, why is hip-hop important? Because hip-hop saved our lives. The rapper MC Shan in 1986 said, "You love to hear the story again and again." He was reminiscing about early hip-hop parties. And what Shan was getting at was that in hip-hop's four elements, there is this ability to express oneself in a fully flexible and dynamic way, a way that has become popular the world over the last 5 decades. And so in that sense, I think of hip-hop as this enduring and engaging cultural form, and I would say even educating. Yes, educating. Now, maybe it's not education in the formal sense, but Hip-Hop 101 is found at the School of Hard Knocks. It's book smarts married with street smarts. It is a way in which hip-hop practitioners show and prove and build and destroy the world around them to try to make some sense of their lives. Maybe we should call it edu-tainment, as KRS-One did in the 1990s. But I think it's important as we celebrate hip-hop's 5th decade that we consider the social and political context in which it emerged from New York in the 1970s. 2 years after Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination, his era of the civil rights movement essentially came to an end. And black and brown youth in New York City faced a tremendous amount of adversity. Adversity in the form of housing crisis, arson, gang violence, little political representation, very little economic and educational opportunity, undiagnosed mental illness, untreated drug addiction. The soul singer Bobby Bland in the 1970s sang, "There ain't no love in the heart of the city." This hip-hop generation in the 1980s inherited the previous generation's trauma and faced a whole new set of challenges: inflation and recession, the AIDS epidemic, crack cocaine use and its accompanying violence, a federally mandated war on drugs that disproportionately targeted urban poor youth. In the 1970s, America had roughly 200,000 Americans imprisoned. By the year 2000, there was almost 2 million Americans in prison. No wonder Tupac called hip-hop the rose that grew from the concrete. So when you consider the context in which hip-hop emerged, no wonder its artists are maybe naughty by nature, because it's in hip-hop that they're constantly struggling with their environment. And so in a lot of their creativity, it infers a certain amount of destruction. If you think about it, in hip-hop, you rap, you scratch, you break, you carry a boombox, you catch wreck, you rock a beat, you fight the power, you drop megaton bombs more faster than you blink. Jizza the Genius from Wu-Tang Clan rapped. And so we have to consider that the 4 elements of hip-hop, graffiti, breakdancing, DJing, rapping, they were all illegal activities when they first emerged in New York in the 1970s. There was a tremendous amount of risk that hip-hop creatives took to practice these arts in public spaces that were highly policed. for writing your name and graffiti on the wall, or for DJs and MCs to go out in the park after dark and plug into the lamppost for some power. Breakdancers going backspin for backspin, gathering a crowd on a subway platform. What we recognize is that all of these practices were at best punishable by a citation or a fine, but in some cases, a jail sentence. Queensbridge rapper Nas, in 1994, considering his coming of age, rapped, "I used to wake up every morning and seeing my crew on the block. Every day is a different plan that had us running from cops." He seemed to sense the criminality that is inherent in hip-hop culture. Now, does that mean for hip-hop to be authentic, it needs to be somehow criminal? No, of course not. However, I'd like us to consider that one of the reasons why hip-hop continues to be confrontational, a sore spot for some people, engaging in conflict, is that hip-hop is created in the 2020s under the same conditions that birthed it in the 1970s. So until the beautiful struggle is realized by these hip-hop practitioners, they're going to continue to try to negotiate their identity under these very dire circumstances. I often get that side-eyed question, so what is it that you teach in a hip-hop class? And I try to diplomatically respond, what is it that we don't learn when we listen to hip-hop? Grandmaster Caz from the legendary Cold Crush Brothers said, hip-hop didn't invent anything. Hip-hop reinvented everything. And so when a graffiti artist puts paint to a canvas, a rapper picks up a microphone, puts pen to a paper, a DJ makes a selection, scratches a record, hip-hop dancers infuse one style to the next, they're carrying on tradition. And what they're doing is using their self-expression, their personal facts as a people's history to try to make sense of the world around them. In fact, they may even be trying to make the world a slightly better place. Righteous laws are overdue, the rapper Slick Rick once said. Hip-hop is that righteous code of the street, a means for individuals to style and profile, to literally bring themselves and their people forward in front of the most difficult circumstances. The author and activist, life coach Ra Gaddis, she had a simple credo as she thought about hip-hop's practices, being an agent of social change. Stay true, get paid, do good. Holler if you can hear me, my people. Thank you.